Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Yes, they've turned up again.
Morning.
You can text us on 8 12 15. That's 8 12 15. Or you can follow us on the Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Or you can email us through the Absolute Radio website. Or you can shout us. You know,
I'm not sure we should encourage that. Some of them might be
depends
London listeners.
If you're adjacent. If you're very adjacent, that's fine.
Hop in, say hi. No, don't do that.
I haven't had a Xerox for a while. But, or you can LinkedIn us. Okay. I can't think of any other forms.
I can't do that.
I won't be.
I won't.
People want to link in with me.
Yeah.
I won't have it.
I don't like those emails.
No.
No.
Okay, so, hello.
Hi.
Can I say, on the, as you know, we have our own Twitter page and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Would you call it a Twitter page?
Yeah.
Is it feed?
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh.
Is it?
Well, anyway, so last weekend I went to a local fete.
Nice.
Oh, lovely. Very Midsummer Murders of you.
Yeah, it was a bit. And I used to do a thing about things, if you put the word local in front of them, you could also say rubbish and it works as well, like local radio, for example.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people saying that's absolutely outrageous. Local newspaper, again, they'll say, no, that's really... If I say local theatre group, they'll start to say, well, you've got a point. If I say local poet, they'll say, yes, you're right. Anyway, I went to a local church fete, and it was lovely, and it was quite a nice day, and a man was dressed as... I think it was a man was dressed as Peppa Pig. There was a bouncy castle.
I don't like those bouncy castles. There are a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's true.
Yeah, well, I went there. I took... Boz is only one, so I don't think he's allowed on a bouncy castle. But we went... He liked to look at the bouncing children, so he stood there, and a woman said to me, don't go on there, it's a jungle.
Was
It's
it
a castle.
Or was it a castle?
It's a castle,
It was properly
yeah.
a
She
castle.
got completely mixed up. But... and there was there was stuff going on there, and I spent most of the day walking around with my baby, because he's at that stage where he holds on to two fingers and he walks, and
Great.
soon he'll be walking on his own. So I did a lot of that.
Watch your back, love, with that.
I know, yes, it is a worry, and it's little bare feet in the grass. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so we had a lovely day, and I went back, and Kat said to me, Kath gets the iPad, and she goes straight onto Twitter search, which I wish she wouldn't do.
She does like a deep Google.
Yeah, she does. Well, not so much nowadays. But, yeah, so she went on Twitter search, which I don't want her to do, and if she does it, please don't tell me anything you read. Even if it's something that says I'm a comedy genius, don't tell me. I don't want to know anything. So, and she said, oh, there's someone who went to the fete. Apparently Rory Kinnear was there. I said, oh, was there? They said, yeah. Went to blah, blah fete. It was made classier by the attendance of Rory Kinnear, and less so by the attendance of Frank Skinner.
Oh,
Ouch.
God.
And I thought,
Oh.
it was a family day out
Yeah.
at the local church fete.
People can be very cruel.
I hate this person. I will hunt them down.
Oh, I don't think you should do that. See, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking, what do these people, in this age of cyber unkindness, trolls and readers' comments and all, what did these people do before the internet? And you know what they did? They were those people that banged on the side of police vans when there's sex offenders inside. They were those people. And when I see those people, I always think, there's about 10 of them.
Yes.
They must have been...
Always with very bad hair, I seem to recall.
Yeah, but they must say, so I'll see you at the I'll see you at the courts tomorrow. I think they'll be out about 9ish. I would have thought. It's quite a brief hearing. And who's going to be the runner? I'll be the runner. You get them on the way out, and then I'll be that one, just that one who runs like right up, carries on with the photographers, hanging on the altar there. And so that made a very loud noise. I feel like I mean, this equipment's so old, the whole thing could fall down. And that's what I think that the Twitter people would have been doing there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember my mum walking nearly 7 miles to put dog excrement to a sex offender's letterbox. But we didn't know then, you see. We didn't know.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
The other thing is, though, is because I was with my baby, I felt like my baby has had a bad review on Twitter.
Oh, this is the hater.
Yeah.
The Twitter hater.
I know a hater's going to hate.
But your haters are my haters.
Okay, thanks.
All right. You're welcome.
Anyway, things picked up on Saturday because I went out on... I can't remember the last time I did this. I went on a stag night.
Oh, follow the bear.
Exactly, I did. I wore a little silk...
Did you wear a little satin bomber jacket and a trilby?
Exactly.
Matt Goss style.
And walked so that my thighs were never actually separated. And to be honest, I haven't really been out properly on a Saturday night for quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I got on the tube.
Oh,
I can't believe.
I love to. Do you know?
Did you
that
frequent
was like Roy
bars?
Hodgson on the tube.
Yeah.
Did you have his jacket? Did you have a jacket over your arm?
I was wearing my suit. I met actually a couple of fans of the show, Gavin and his girlfriend, who I've never met people who they'd been on a treasure hunt and they were really morose about it. Quite bitter about some of the decisions.
Would someone slag them off on Twitter? They Googled themselves.
I don't know what happened, but you don't meet people post treasure hunt who are like, it just wasn't right the way it was handled. And also it was crowded on the tube, and I could have sworn early on he said he worked for Saga.
Oh.
Right.
So I said, so what's it like then, working for Saga? And he started going, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? I work for... And then he worked for somebody with the name Media in the title.
Oh.
I don't know if he thought I was having a go. Anyway, that was... that's my awards. I don't need your Arqivas and your Sonys. I got...
So?
People on the tube. I'll tell you what, I was...
Where did you go on the stag night?
Well, we went to a Japanese... We went to the pub. You know, I don't really do pubs anymore.
No, and Saturday nights, I imagine, are...
How many are there? There are 20 of you?
They?
Is it blue stratus and short-sleeve shirts?
It wasn't that warm last weekend. It was all right. I'm amazed what young women wear to go out on a Saturday night.
Oh, you're not going to do this.
What, now?
Well, I mean, honestly, I
Really?
felt... I felt like on the tube, I wanted to go, hold on, can I just have a bit of... Can you young girls, for goodness sake, be careful when you're out on... Because some of you, you've gone too far. I really wanted to put my coat round some of them.
Yeah.
In the old days, I'd have been thinking, cool, look at her. Now I'm thinking, oh, for goodness sake. I didn't realise.
That's the age test, though, isn't it?
It is the age test. Now I just want to... phone their mums to come and get them.
They're more your demographic.
In case their mums are fit,
yeah. Of course, their mums will turn up in a quilted nylon housecoat.
Perfect.
But I found it a bit shocking, really. But anyway, so I was all set for a stag night after that.
Yeah.
A fit of puritanism. And I felt like, when you see these blokes who discover these Amazon tribes, and you think, I bet I didn't know where to look when they first walked into that clearing. Anyway, so we got to this...
the venue.
To the pub, and all the other guys had got cowboy hats on. I'd had the cowboy hat text, but I didn't. They were going on to...
You love cowboys, surely,
I do, I love cowboys.
Yeah, John Wayne's
imagine
big
if
leggy.
I'd been on the tube with a cowboy hat. With those young
I was
women.
partially
I would
dressed
have paid
women.
£1,000 to have seen that.
I'd have been like, the MC of the saloon show who comes on and says, we got some pretty girls for you tonight. It would have been like that. Anyway, so I found, I have this problem that sometimes I'm a bit of a git.
Yes.
This was identified recently by one of our readers.
You've always been a bit of a git.
Yeah, and I hadn't picked up on it, but really the scales fell away from my eyes when I got that text. And I was talking to one, I used the sentence, to a man who didn't know, I used the sentence, look, it might have been impressive to know your way around a around the sushi menu in the 90s. But now, you know, get over it. It's nothing special.
Oh.
Anyway, that was the stag night. I drank green tea, didn't wear a cowboy hat, and was a git.
You drank green tea?
That was when I should have been on something on Twitter saying, Frank Skinner, he made the whole thing. Let's
ruining a stag do.
Yeah, but I got away with that one.
Well...
No, nothing. Get off! What do the sex offenders think? Do they sit inside thinking,
Go to the music.
Dear, I'm less popular now than I was? Listen to those people.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We have an email that I would like to bring to your attention. Hello, Mr. Multi-Award nominated radio. That's you.
That's not correct, is it?
Well, Alan, A-L-A-N, also sick, spelled incorrectly, and Emily, just seen the winners of the Arqiva Commercial Radio Awards, and not a mention of Frank or the rest of the team.
Thanks for hammering that home.
And hammered with 3 exclamation marks. I hope that Frank keeps out of the dark places. I think your show is, brackets, praise deleted, and the praise deleted there is.
Yes, well, that's very nice of them.
Kind, isn't it?
Well, they say praise deleted. There could have been expletives. How do we know?
I listen to the podcast each Sunday whilst hoovering. Hang on a minute. Oh, it says here, brackets, headphones on. I think that this can only be considered as a dirty
sure it doesn't say
move.
hovering? Is it from a Buddhist monk?
That would be great, wouldn't it? I wonder if we would occasionally break their attention and they'd just tumble to the floor.
Do you think we get many Buddhist listeners?
No.
I reckon they rise above this
I think
sort
we've
of
got
show.
Excellent.
Thank you. I think that this can only be considered as a dirty creeps move, but if Emily is ever in the Canterbury area, I would like to show her the sights despite my marital status. Love you all, TTFN.
No worries on that score, love.
Stuart Ricketts.
I wonder how many times the sentence or the phrase "despite my marital status" has been read out in a court of law. Despite.
It's been said to me in a bar quite a number of times.
Conversation with.
Wow, this does touch on the Arqivas.
Can I say that I didn't go to the Arqivas? So I let you guys go because I know you have a night out. You missed a night out.
I know you have a night out.
Yeah, you like a night out.
We did like a night out. Well,
you had an opportunity to have a bath and everything.
Yeah.
Cockerel came, Daisy came, Bob didn't come. I don't know what he was. I think he was with his.
Well, Bob never has a bath, as we know.
No, that's true.
SpongeBob, he just rinses.
He was with the crickets, Frank, that night.
Of course.
So.
Where was it, though? Did you have a lovely time?
Well, we did. Daisy and the Cockerel picked me up from work, and they had a car, and I shuffled over to the car. I couldn't walk very well. It was so tight, the tightness of the dress, and the high heel. As I got into the cab, he was furious, the driver. He was furious, because I bent over to get in, and I said, I'm having problems with this dress, I can't walk. He didn't say anything. And then he said, can you hurry up, I can't park here. And I said, OK, can you hold my clutch? Handed him my handbag.
So that would have confused him if it was a manual gearbox.
I believe I was in the back of the car making a hold the clutch joke as well.
Wow.
Like a Top Gear guy like you.
A manual gearbox, of course. That's the well-known philosopher.
We arrived, Al, didn't we? And they wanted us to do what I believe is called the step and repeat board. You know that red carpet thing where you stand and you have your picture
you stand
taken?
in front of something that says Arqiva on it.
Exactly. Daisy called it the stop and go board.
OK.
I wouldn't do it.
Really?
Because I didn't want lenses to be lowered, because there's nothing worse than that. I thought, what if they won't know who we are? They'll know who Alan is.
They will.
But they won't know who I am.
But I don't really go to film premieres anymore, but on occasion, I've been loads of times when lenses are lowered as I've walked out. It happened to me once. Some of the lenses, some of the people took photos, but I saw a bloke lower his lens.
It's awful.
And I looked at him and he looked at me and he just smiled and I nodded back like, what? Yeah, they haven't noticed, mate.
It'd have been nice.
Don't tell anyone.
If he'd just pretended like he had cramp in his hand or something. He was like, sorry, injury.
I was all right with it.
I went to a premiere and I heard them go, Trevor! At Trevor McDonald. And then I walked in and they went, oh.
So that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awful.
Because Trevor McDonald has got a knighthood for being able to read out loud. Is that fair?
And you, nothing for...
Yeah, you nothing for being a genius. We'll come back to the Arqivas. Not I won't, obviously.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So you're at the Arqivas. What did you wear, Alan? Lounge suit?
I wore a 60s suit with a paisley shirt, heavily patterned paisley shirt.
Lovely.
Yeah. No tie.
What a pair you must have made. And Paisley as well. I'm not going to go through her outfit. It's going to be here all night.
I know. Well...
there's a great moment, actually. Can I just say that I was sat next to an empty space for the starter, and it had been delivered. It was there. Finished mine. Looked around the table and I thought, I'm having this. And so I had a spare starter.
Lovely.
And hold the front page. Never thought this would happen. Emily Dean went, come on, share the wealth. And
what?
No, I wanted you to give me money.
she had an extra bit at the starter as well.
Were you drunk?
Yes.
Goat's cheese.
I made amends the next day.
So what was the highlight of the Arqivas?
The highlight was...
Wow, there's so many highlights.
There was Bucks Fizz. So the evening kicked off. The OC was MC.
Okay.
And...
Confusing.
I know.
It was like a typo.
Yeah.
Pat Sharp came up. He seemed in a bit of a funny mood. Then Bucks Fizz kicked off the evening. Wow. I mean... They began to sing Making Your Mind Up. And, of course, the one thing on everyone's minds is...
Of course.
That, are they going to come off?
Yes.
Are they going to come off? So they get to the bit, don't they? Gotta speed it up. And then they say, and if you want to see some more... And there was a pause of about... It felt like 20 minutes while everyone gasped.
Yeah.
The skirts came off.
Fantastic.
Sequin panties everywhere.
It'd have been like being on the tube for you, I imagine.
Yeah, except I was putting them on. I was doing a reverse Bucks Fizz.
We were at the Shell
in case we do have any younger listeners, which I'm not sure about, this was a tradition. This was in the 80s. They won the Eurovision Song Contest, and the big moment was that they had like Velcro skirts on that the men used to rip off. I know now that seems wrong in many ways, but at the time it was just a bit of fun. What they should do now, I would have thought, is they should have ripped his clothes off.
Who? Oh, Mike Nolan?
Yeah, to show that they've moved on, that they've
emancipated.
To be honest, I had misgivings about his outfit because we were at the side of the stage, so I could see him side on, and he had a suit on, quite a shiny number, not to my taste, but I could see at the back of his suit his shirt hanging out below the suit jacket. He hadn't tucked his shirt in. I mean, I'm not pernickety about such things, but it really distracted me throughout. I was thinking, he's not taking an outfit off, is that untucked because he's going to pull the whole lot off?
There are two women writhing around in sequin panties, and all he's talking about is Mike Nolan's shirt tear.
I mean,
muttering.
They're getting on now, Bucks Fizz, they must be.
Well,
what about if he'd have reached across, not really paid attention, and just ripped Cheryl Baker's artificial hip off? I mean, that would have been, awful.
We were at the Cheryl Baker end, weren't we, Al? Not the Jay Aston.
Yeah.
Much to your chagrin. Alan did say something like, I would.
I never.
You didn't say that.
How dare you? I don't think I did.
That.
I think that was when Atomic Kitten were on,
yes,
or level
Sure,
42.
he didn't say would when Ronnie Wood went past. that would have explained that.
Ronnie Wood's hair's immaculate. His hair is just... It's like every strand of it has been cut individually.
Do you know what else I love about Ronnie? What he does, Frank, he went up to get an award and present one, but all his facial expressions are brilliant. He wears his heart on his sleeve. It's like, you know those D.W. Griffith silent movies, like joy and pain? He just expresses all his emotions very fully, and he taps away. When Level 42 were playing, he enjoyed them.
And he got into the feeling, didn't he?
I think he was on his Scion.
His Scion organiser.
Yeah, that's why he was tapping away. I think he's got some gigs coming up, if I remember rightly.
But Bucks Fizz, there was a moment of controversy with Bucks Fizz because the OC was interviewing them, and Cheryl Baker corrected him. She said, "Oh, you can't call us Bucks Fizz now." She said, "We have to be."
Oh yes, because there's a court case thing.
She said, "We're
the band formerly known as Bucks Fizz, I think it
They're
was.
not honestly called
Yes,
that.
they are.
Yeah,
Formerly Bucks Fizz, they're called.
And she enjoyed a little mischievous moment where she went, "Oh, the other one is doing Butlins in Minehead or something this weekend."
Oh.
She sort of said, "Yeah, we're
That
here."
was like when I worked with
He's
Rachel
there.
Riley and we asked her what she got in maths and she said 2-1. Carol Vorderman only got a third.
Very like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so they need a new...
So they need a new moniker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bucks Fizzled. What about that?
Is that that's a bit
harsh, isn't
negative. If they're going to start tearing his clothes off and go a bit more modern,
Yeah.
there could be Bucks Miz.
Oh.
Miz. I thought of another one then, but it involved Doc's bodily fluids. I'm not gonna do it.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We were talking about the Arqivas.
Oh, and Box Fizz getting a new name. I
And in
did have an
fact,
idea. I had an idea for one, but it would involve them having to wear fezzes.
Well, this whole plan sounds rather half-baked.
Bucks Fez.
Yeah.
Are we going to put an apostrophe S so they're wearing fezzes belonging to Buck, a guy they know called
Yeah,
Buck?
why not?
Maybe even Uncle Buck.
I don't like the idea of them having to incorporate fezzes into the act, just randomly to justify a name change.
Well, fezzes, you could have small fezzes, glitter
Oh, they
colour.
look attractive, small fezzes.
I think.
What's
Or-
going to happen when the
I-
skirts come off with those fezzes? Those tassels will be flying everywhere.
Well, that'd be great because it'd be like rather than the burlesque dancers who have the tasseled pasties,
Yes.
as they call them, they'd be able to just whirl their heads round.
Two of them could wear fezzes and one could wear a baseball cap. And
I
then
could-
they could refer to their hats when they're talking about making your mind up.
Yeah.
One of them going, "Oh."
But if they, is there four of them? Is there another
No,
member?
there's three. There's Mike Nolan, Cheryl Baker, and Jay Aston.
Yes,
now.
the three of them at the front of the stage. Picture this. Fezzes, and they can have elastic chin
Oh,
straps
yeah.
to keep
Oh,
them up.
lovely. That'll look nice.
But they lean forward so you can just see the tops of the fezzes. They get the tassels going in the same direction, and they degrease lightning.
Nice. I don't want them to lose their dignity that they currently perform with. That's my worry.
No, the fez. It's a traditional
a lovely
showbiz
thing, yeah.
headwear.
It's a lovely thing.
Mark from Kidderminster says, "Hi, maybe now they're stripped of a member, they can be called Bucks Naked."
Oh, box naked could be the next step from the skirts.
I just prefer menage a trois. Just come clean.
No,
Menage a trois.
Okay, calm down, dears.
No.
Calm down.
definitely not. What about 30 years? They've been going since the 80s. They could be called 30 Years of Skirt.
Oh, lovely.
That'd be a good autobiography, actually, for Box Fizz.
Yeah.
Is that a little reference to some of your own work,
Might
perhaps?
be.
No?
There's people at home that saying, "Get the kettle." Set the kettle.
Frank, just briefly, whilst we're on the Arqivas, at the Arqivas, Alan, well, it turned out he's a secret level 42 fan.
Yeah, I didn't know. Level
You
42.
didn't know you were a level 42.
I'm not really that up on their work. And,
Okay.
and they were ace. They were brilliant. Should have closed the whole thing. Emily Dean raised the point that they should have closed the whole thing.
No.
Atomic Kitten did.
What?
Atomic
Yeah.
Kitten were on last, and, you know...
Alan said something about Atomic Kitten, which I don't know if he'll let me repeat. Am I allowed to say it?
if you want, yeah,
Okay.
fine.
We agreed, Alan observed and I agreed, that they weren't quite hot enough to sing with a backing track.
Like,
Ah.
an event where music had been played and sang by people that were, you
Yeah.
know, talented musicians and singers. And
Sounds like you just sat there like the two girls in Ghost World, just criticising.
That's what you do, though,
Pretty
isn't
much,
it?
yeah.
There was an excellent moment when that newsreader, Greg, said of Atomic Kitten, you know, because you sort of look at people and then you start talking about their appearance and their act. He turned around and he went, "They're very feline, aren't they?" And I went, "Atomic Kitten? A feline?"
And nuclear.
Yeah, I was thinking, what's next?
You two sitting there having a go at Atomic Kitten. Still, haters gonna hate.
Frank, we've heard from the outside world, Tommy Cooper Temple Claws.
See, what they've done is they've taken the Fez theme and applied it elsewhere. I like it.
I also just wanted to pass on, I received a missive from Ross...
Just take that. If there's a split band, just take that.
Oh, yeah.
I like to
Said
say
it
that.
just like that, you see.
Is that a Take That tribute band? I like that.
Yeah.
Like an Oasis.
My favourite is Shania Twain. Anyway, carry on.
I received a communique from Ross Noble, who's a bit of a friend of the show,
Yes.
during the week.
Hold on a minute.
I'm pausing.
Has that become more grand?
It has, yeah. And the other thing is, I haven't played it for ages. It's almost like I left it in a cupboard and it's grown like mushroom.
It doesn't feel like that.
I like it. It's all at sort of end of Star Wars at the Galactic Wedding. So Ross Noble says, did you see Alexander Armstrong on that Your Face singing show as Johnny Cash last Saturday? He was a dead ringer for Frank.
Really?
I replied. I said, I think Frank will be quite chuffed with that. Well, he did look nice. Ross then advised me, he said, it was that Paddy McGuinness singing show, still on ITV Player. And I had a look at it, and I have to say, you look exactly the same, Frank.
Really? Alexander Armstrong and Johnny
As
Cash,
Johnny
in the
Cash.
fly machine.
He had a prosthetic nose, but it looked perfect, and a quiff, and it looked perfect.
Oh, I want to look that up.
I think you should.
Some of you might feel that that's a pointless exercise. Okay. Is it? Are you serious? Okay, I'm being pointed at by the producer.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Emily Dean, Alan Cochrane, text us on 81215. Twitter is on Twitterati, or sweet, on @Frank on the radio, or email us through the Absolute Radio website. Do I have to keep doing that?
Look, can I say that's the worst opening you've ever done? You coughed. Daisy, the producer, dropped something on the floor.
Do you think we... Come on, buck up.
Buck up!
That's what they could be called, buck up.
Bucks Up would be good, wouldn't it? Or,
it's
no,
spoiling.
Buck Up.
Spoiling.
If Bucks Fizz were well endowed, they could easily change their name to Buxom Fizz, somebody suggested.
Well endowed with what?
I think
Well,
in the
they mean-
Buxom department. Buxom Fizz. That's what somebody's suggesting.
Get out. What do you think? These people are professional singers, they're not.
Buxom Fizz.
To be fair, they
that's
were
what it's
wearing
saying.
pants.
Yeah.
We've also got one from Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Dear Frank, and he's attempted a sort of anagram of our name, Menially, which is, it seems to be an anagram of Emily and Alan. I am an avid listener and listen to the podcast on
You're
the
saying
way
that you're menials, though, on this show.
No.
Maybe, yeah.
Louis.
on the way to school.
Oh.
On the topic of Bucks Fizz, why don't they call themselves Mimosa? As there is only 2 parts instead of 3. 1 part champagne and 1 part orange juice. Instead of 3, it's normally 1 part champagne and 2 parts orange juice.
Is it?
If any of you find yourself in the Walton Weybridge area, I would be happy to show you the sites despite being only 14. Regards, Louis.
I don't know if he knows about
does he know
cocktails.
To be fair, so did I. And I was mixing them for adults when I was about 6.
What if they could be called Black Velvet? That's
Why?
Guinness. That's Guinness and champagne, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
And it could say they've got darker over the years, you know.
Yeah.
Darker, more mysterious.
They could be called Snake
Age
Bite or
spots.
Cider and Black or... They could be called loads of stuff. Shandy. What about Shandy?
They should somehow communicate, though, shouldn't they, that they were Bucks Fizz.
Yeah.
It should
That's
be
the
an
trouble.
alcohol-based drink, though. They
Well, I
should
just
keep
think
the
it
theme.
should sound a bit like Bucks Fizz.
No, not Tennant Special Brew. We don't want to go down that
No.
road.
But, yeah, I think they need to... Some people say, oh, I bet that's Bucks Fizz, because it sounds a bit like...
Yeah.
Bucks Fizz. I'll go back to it again.
Bucks Fez.
Anyway, guess what I did last night?
Oh, yeah. Well, I bet you did what all of us did.
Massive jigsaw.
No.
Oh, God.
I watched Andy Murray winning his semi-final. I get the feeling
So did I.
everybody... I suppose most people are out on a Friday night, but it's... I like it. I like the idea that I could sense the rest of the country watching it.
Yeah. I actually spent yesterday... I timed yesterday specifically
You
to watch
timed
it.
yesterday, let me guess, about 24 hours?
Yeah, it came in at just about 24 hours.
I knew it. If you'd
Give or
phoned
take.
me...
Give or take. No, I timed my day specifically. I watched a bit
I
of
did.
the match before it, and then I travelled to London, and then I got to the hotel, all sort of geared to, oh, hang on, I think I'm going to get most of the Murray match if I'm lucky. And
It's too good to hurry.
it was
That should be his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Ring that Judy. She'll like that.
it was
Judy.
exciting, wasn't it?
What's happened to Judy?
Yeah, what's gone on?
What do you mean what's happened?
Used to be a ginger.
Yeah.
His mum, Judy. This year, I saw her with dark glasses on. I thought it was Karl Lagerfeld.
Honestly, I think I think it's the pressure of him having won a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
It's like Tony
Right
Blair.
overnight. Like Marie Antoinette bit going through the crowds.
Yeah.
in
Tony
the
Blair and
crowds.
Barack Obama did it, innit? Maybe she's
Well, they
actually...
haven't gone as grey as Judy, though.
yeah. All right.
She's gone like Beethoven overnight.
Yeah. Did Beethoven go grey overnight?
No, but her hair looks not dissimilar to Beethoven's.
You're right.
She does.
Yeah.
Why does she and Kim not sit together then?
Well, you know how it is, don't you?
No,
I don't think Judy ever completely let go.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Frank.
Whereas Kim, I read an interview with Kim where she said her three favourite things in all the world is Classic FM.
Oh.
Guess where this was read out on? Classic FM, tea, and she said loads and loads of chocolate biscuits. She doesn't look like a woman who eats loads and loads.
No.
Well, Kim,
Lovely hair, though, hasn't she? She's
Oh,
got lovely
we're all
hair.
talking. My girlfriend was saying her hair is absolutely immaculate.
Yeah.
Said that
Amazing.
about 20 times.
The hair's good.
And I love the roof argument.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Janovich, I
He had a
really
point.
didn't. I took again him. I didn't like him.
Did you?
Well, did you see Andy being interviewed afterwards? And he
Yeah.
said, "Oh, he was on his phone." You know,
Yeah.
and Andy had a shower. Who was he ringing? I think.
Well, I don't know. He probably does know people who'll put a roof on a building. So perhaps he was saying, "There's a bit of work. Get over to Wimbledon."
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
One of the reasons that I rushed to London yesterday to see some of the tennis was that this year...
You mean on telly, don't you?
Yeah, on the television.
You weren't there on centre court.
No, I wish. But this year is it's been one of the hardest years for me to see any of Wimbledon because I've been coming back and forth for various professional engagements. So I've just not seen much of it. And you know that thing where you can feel that the clock is ticking. It's only on for 2
I
weeks.
know that feeling, all right.
And honestly,
That's
this
life.
year, I don't know what I've done wrong, but every time I've turned Wimbledon on, it's been seniors doubles. I've seen loads of John McEnroe play, more than I did while he was playing properly.
I didn't know they did that.
It's been on the telly all the time, John McEnroe. Why?
I only watch the British people.
Have you seen John McEnroe these days?
I've seen him playing tennis three times
I've
in the
seen
last
what he looks
fortnight.
like now on Mount Rushmore. That's all I'm saying. He looks like old Father Time. What's happened to him? Him and Judy Murray would be good together.
That's true, yeah.
They look not dissimilar.
He was
this
nearly
year.
in Harry Potter, wasn't he?
McEnroe?
Yeah, what was
No.
the name? He was up for that. Sirius, is it called?
No.
But they told him that he could not be.
He could not be serious. Very good.
He's a very disappointed by it.
I like
I
the idea of
so
them saying
took that in as well.
he could not be. I don't like it when they cut to them out in the commentary box. You know, when they put the roof up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like I'm the Great Osman, the curtain comes down and you see them all
No, but why
squashed
do they
together
sit-
with a bottle of water.
No, but they line up like those old pictures of Kraftwerk. There's one at the front, and then there's one.
It's Andrew Castle,
It's
Tim Henman.
international star.
Yeah.
So he gets
John
to sit at the
McEnroe.
front, then Tim Henman, and then Andrew Castle tucked away at the back.
Their clothes are all creased from being in the box for too long.
It
yeah.
looks like they're
But
crammed
it's humid
in
in
there.
there. I bet it's really
I hate
humid.
that box.
Andrew Castle, he's kept with that hair thing. Have you seen the advert that he does?
No.
There's an advert that he does
Yes.
when he's walking down the road and he's got flowers and he bumps into someone and he says, "Oh, sorry, sorry." It sorts most things out, doesn't it? But then it's like, but not accidents at work or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it a bit shorter, obviously to save money, they've taken the bit off the front, so it's a real messy. You just see a bit of something nearly happened. What was that? Sorry, they've ruined it.
He's done well getting that gig, though.
Yeah, but he should have put his foot down with that. They've ruined his big moment. If Andy... Oh, there's two things that worry me. If the Scots get independence, will we still be cheering Andy Murray?
Oh, yeah. I won't.
Well, I will.
Yeah, I won't.
Being as I am Scottish.
There's one thing that worries me, Frank. Jude Law. It's all gone a bit Matt Goss in the
looked
fedora.
awful.
Yeah, but he didn't wear a hat, though. He didn't look awful. He looked like a beautiful man who's going bald.
Yeah, but it's gone a bit fedora. He needs to ring Matt Goss. He needs help.
Yeah, but that guy, that Polish guy, what was his name who played?
Janovic.
Yeah. He's only 23. He was clearly going bald, and he'd had his hair you know when it looks like there's a chrysanthemum growing over the top of the brow?
Yeah.
It was like that.
I didn't like the kinesiology
In fact, what
tape.
he'd done is he'd looked at his bald head, he'd put the roof on.
Yes.
He's obsessed with putting roofs on things.
When is it going up? When?
Yeah, I nearly... Look at 8 o'clock. What if it rains? Then my gel will start to go all frosty and it will look ridiculous.
It was a bit Van Helsing.
Thank you very much. I was great, though. It was exciting and I enjoyed it and all that.
I don't like that tape he wears. That KT tape, I believe it's called.
Oh, yeah.
The kinesiology tape.
Can I ask a question? If Murray wins, will they finally rename Henman Hill?
Murray Mound.
They did call it Murray Mound for a while.
They still call it. They say let's cut to the crowds on Henman Hill.
Yeah.
I bet they're gutted that they called it Henman Hill. But they thought, I wish we'd held back for a good one. And now we really want to call it Murray Mound.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit... I think it's
told-
a bit off-colour Murray Mound.
I don't know if this is
like
true,
it.
but someone told me there was a suggestion of calling it, because of Thingy had done so well, Laura Robson, of calling it Robson Green. I really hope that's true. That would make me very happy.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text saying wearing that tape made Janowitz look like a strapping lad, though. See what he's done?
Yeah, like, because he had to strap on the
Strapping,
tape.
yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend thought it was a tattoo for the first 3 sets.
Did she? Does she like the tennis cat?
She's
not normally
like
a
me,
sports
she'll only
fan.
watch the Brits.
Oh, yeah.
I can't watch it. I don't like tennis enough to watch a neutral game.
Okay.
Oh, it takes it goes on.
Exciting for tomorrow, though, isn't it?
When it's like one set each, you think, oh my god. But it was all right. It's all right when it's one can be. I'll tell you, I went to see Man of Steel, and the actor who plays Superman looks like
Henry Cavill.
He looks like if Andy Murray committed a crime and you did I don't know if they do identikits anymore.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like an identikit picture of Andy Murray. Like Andy Murray's been his face has been tidied up a bit. Yeah, a good edit of Andy Murray's face.
What do you think he's like, Andy Murray? You see, I have to be honest. Certain sportsmen I can imagine hanging out with. I don't have to imagine, but
Nicholas
let's not go down
Anelka.
that road.
Yes.
I'd quite like Anelka. I think we'd get on all right. Carnu, I always thought I'd go on quite well with.
Oh yeah.
I always think with Andy Murray, and it's not just the cliched, oh, he's a bit dour, he's Scottish thing. It's not that at all.
No.
I just think he might be a little bit like lining his toys up kind of personality. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
Like
very.
Beckham, putting all the
No, Beckham I would love to have dinner with. But Murray,
I see.
would you guys?
But I
Oh,
mean,
well, he
Do
went
you
to
think it'd be a good conversation?
he went to Mock the Week.
He did, and actually I performed on an episode of Mock the Week during Wimbledon one year, and a friend of mine said, he tweeted that he was enjoying it that night.
Did he name your name?
No, sadly.
Well, then why
That
even
would've
bring it up?
Just because I know that he does watch it and he likes the show.
I'm joking.
Harsh.
No. I heard an interesting thing about you the other day. But
About
you
me?
might not want me saying it on here.
Uh-oh.
Well, go on. What is it?
No, it's all right. No, I'll tell you. It was that. You know that.
Telling me on air, are you?
You know NLP?
You know that interesting thing you heard about me? Don't bring that
yeah.
up on it. For God's sake.
NLP.
You know NLP, where
Yeah.
people neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
had friends.
Well,
that
I
done
heard
that.
someone talking about that, and they said Alan Cochrane does this line when he begins the sentence. If you like me, and then goes on, and they said what he's doing, he's implanting the idea that they like him. It's not even
right?
if, is it? It's you.
No, it is a bit of material, and it was somebody has raised this to me. I think maybe it's the same chap.
Okay.
Has brought it up and said, "Oh, have you done some NLP?" because I said it, and
You're planting seeds to make them like you.
I have to say it's entirely coincidence.
Oh, yes, sure
and,
it is. That's
yeah.
what the Nazis said. Did they say that?
Parents were Nazis.
I don't think they did say that.
No.
I'll take that back.
Yeah, that's an odd
Not
thing,
in
isn't it?
English. Yeah.
Can I just say I've never done any NLP?
But the idea that you're saying...
I did, but only in the 90s.
If you're kind of... no, I don't think it's a drug, is it? I think it's a...
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Can we go to email corner?
In my corner. How's that?
Wow.
It's horrible.
Well, it's I have to reach for the jingles. Thing.
I think you're going to say the high notes.
Yeah, I'd certainly have to reach for those.
Dear Frank.
I need love. I feel love, isn't it? I need love. That's a Freudian thing.
Yeah.
You think?
That's me saying that I need love.
That's today's texting, is it?
Elton John had a song called that.
I need love.
Oh, I want love, he said.
Did he?
Yeah. I've heard he does. Dear Frank, I've recently realised I'll probably never become a stand-up comedian. Not my words, but the words of Tom.
Okay.
Or a writer.
Oh, Tom.
I've made my peace with this.
Okay.
But it does leave me with what I thought was a reasonable joke that'll never see the light of day. Can you make any use of it? Okay, boys, see what you think of this.
Mm-hmm.
Never trust a Philip who spells his name with one L. His eyes are too close together.
I like it.
It's excellent.
It might need some workshopping. As far as I know, it's an original, or at least I've arrived at it independently. Google doesn't throw up any hits. All the best, Tom.
I think it's clever. I like ones about the minutiae of writing and grammar and stuff like that.
I think it might be indicative of a new sort of joke, insofar as that there are certain jokes that work on Twitter because they're short and they're being read rather than heard. So two eyes close together, you can sort of see the joke when you look at it on a screen. But if you just hear it, his eyes are too close together, you don't quite get it as quickly.
Well, I completely disagree. Because,
do you?
Because it's a pun on the word eyes,
Uh-huh.
you don't want to read it, but you want it because they sound the same, but they don't look the same.
Yeah.
I think it kills it if you read it.
Really?
Well, there you go. So that's this week's comedy workshop.
But what I do like about it is that he says he's resigned himself to never becoming a stand-up comedian or writer, but his best joke he has Googled just in case.
Yes.
So even before he begins, he's got the paranoia required.
I think
Yes, he's got the requisite.
I've always
He
thought
wrote it.
if you can write one good joke, you can write 1,000.
Yeah.
So don't give up just yet.
No.
Come back to us with 999 more.
And in fairness, he does have quite close together eyes, Prince Philip. So it's
Where
appealing.
did Prince Philip come from?
Well, I thought of Prince Philip. You know when someone tells you a joke, visually that's what I thought of when I heard Philip.
Oh, okay.
And of course,
okay.
you also, before you tell it, you need to say, do you, like me,
Yes.
think that Philip
Yes, of
spells,
course.
isn't it? That'll really help.
It'll
That'll
help.
You do that all the
Well, that's
time.
what I do before every joke.
See, my thing was that the on the subject of writing and stuff,
Uh-huh.
it really annoys me, and it genuinely annoys me that the semicolon gets pole position on the typewriter key or on the keyboard key.
Oh, yeah.
So if you know there's a key that's got the semicolon
Let me
and the
just have a
colon.
look. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you hit that key, you get the semicolon. You have to press shift to get the colon.
Yes.
The colon surely is the proper.
Yeah.
That came first. The other one's just a sort of half-hearted version. The colon should get the thing, and the semicolon should
You bang that
require
desk again.
the shift. Yeah.
Very bangy today, haven't you?
They hate me, don't they, Constable? Just shut up. You can take the blanket off now.
What's happened to those grey blankets they used to conceal criminals
Oh,
in?
no.
You never see them anymore.
I've always thought that they should just come out as Disney characters. People would be much less hostile.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I got a texting based on that fiery rant you did about the QWERTY keyboard a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that fiery rant?
I do.
When you just went off on one. Frank, maybe you should change the location of the aforementioned grammar characters. It would be colonic emigration.
Yeah?
I know.
Good.
Oh,
Like-
Oh, that's
yeah, I
good.
got it, darling. Frank looked at
Okay.
me like I didn't get it.
Well, I heard nothing from that side of the room.
That's because it was
Hang
a
on,
pun.
let's see if it works better if I say, Frank, do you, like me, think maybe you should change the location of the aforementioned... I think that worked better.
Yeah, you're
That's
probably-
amazing.
You're probably right. I'm not that keen on rants. I think it's about time rants.
Yeah.
People go and think, it's an easy sort of comedy if you just go on and on like you really matter, so care about something. That's not,
Like the QWERTY keyboard and
Yeah.
colons.
what I'm saying. It's about time rants stop. People go, everyone's doing a rant. Charlie Brooker's doing a rant. David Mitchell's doing a rant. Just stop ranting. We've had enough of ranting now. What about a bit of nice general sort of talk?
All right, calm down.
That's my anti-rant rant.
It's got a bit,
Who's that?
will
Come
you
in.
leave that
Rat.
desk alone?
Come in. Don't say come in. Sorry, Constable. I said don't, on no circumstances say come in.
There's someone called John Boy from Dudley.
Of course there is.
Not John Boy.
Well,
He
yeah, this is a
says
strange text, isn't it?
640, aka 640.
Yeah.
That Frank Skinner keeps going on about how clean he is. Like he's cleaner than all us lot. We all shower, mate. John Boy, Dudley. I beg to differ.
He's obviously not in Tipton.
What, with a triple barrel name, John Boy Dudley?
Do I keep going on about how clean I am?
I once described you as immaculate, and I only got that on trust from your life partner.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm not. I talk openly about the fact that I'll wear a suit for 6 weeks.
Mm.
And I used to be at the 2 day 1 pant.
I wore the same suit to the Arqivas this week as I wore last year, and I'm not sure it's been
Did
clean
you?
since.
Yeah, but I'm on about wearing a
Different
suit
shirt.
every day.
Yeah. I've only worn
What
it.
about Mike Nolan and Bucks Fizz? I think that had had a few outings,
Oh,
Frank.
yeah.
That's why
That
it was
had a few
shiny.
out-
It probably wasn't shiny when he bought it.
It was a purplish colour, not absolute radio purple, more sort of muted purple of a £20 note. I'm going.
Okay. Email corner.
Alan, I'd like you to read the next email.
Dear Frank, Emily and the Cockerel, just a quick word about the helicopters and your son Buzz.
Ah, yes.
Helicopters with single engines have to fly over the Thames, while those with 2 engines can fly over London proper.
Okay.
Also, each of the 2 Chinook rotors spin in opposite directions, creating the odd sound as it flies past.
Well, you see, I haven't noticed it sounding... for new readers, I
Yeah.
was saying that my son loves it when planes and helicopters go over, points, gets excited. But if it's a Chinook helicopter, he starts crying.
Well, he claims that it's the...
It's the sound, is it?
Plus, sorry, I don't want to sound like a smarty pants, but did you know the Chinook is named after a North African tribe?
North
North American tribe, sorry.
Oh, God.
Is he suggesting that my son is racist? That's why he's crying when it goes over. Perhaps he's crying for the North American Indians and what they've had to put up with.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Selling their land for a pair of scissors or whatever.
Did I tell you I met a woman who, at a meditation retreat, who said that in a previous life she'd been the head of the Sioux Nation?
No.
I'm
Is that right?
The Sioux Nation, not those pandas from Sooty. Yeah, the head of the Sioux Nation, and she took some drug, and she said, I wept, I just wept and became the head of the Sioux Nation. And I said, you cried for all the Sioux that had been slaughtered, and she said, no, more, I would say more for the buffalo. It's awkward.
We've had a couple of texts in. 543, a.k.a. Chloe. The Chinook is named after the wind, not the tribe. Smart. And then she uses a category C swear word. Might be
Yeah.
category... I don't know if it's C.
D, maybe, yeah.
D, yeah.
Okay, smart. Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, so it's named
not
after the
smarty pants, let's
wind.
just say. Yeah.
The Chinook.
Well, that's Chloe's opinion.
You'd think it probably comes from the same source, though, that they're a bit of a coincidence, a wind and a North American, what do they call them? You know, they used to be Red Indians. What do they call them now?
Native
American,
Americans.
yes. Yeah.
131, one of my regulars.
Mm-hmm.
He's texting.
That was a career-threatening flashback.
Frank, do you, like me,
Oh, he's
Very good.
They learn quick.
adopting the cockerel's ways, think the Sioux Nation might have been a compensation culture?
See, I didn't laugh at the joke, but I really like this guy. I don't know why. That's amazing.
Exactly. I've got my
brainwash.
reservations about it.
Oh, very good.
We've
Very
gone too many ponds today.
I really
I'm
thought
getting
my
a pon
catchphrase
headache.
wouldn't be "Do you like me?" I thought it was going to be "So that's that." That's my attempt at a
Do you
catchphrase.
get pon headaches like when you have, when you eat ice cream really
Yeah, yeah.
quick?
You get a
No,
pon headache.
I've never had a pun headache.
Oh, okay.
You
What
had an
else?
Ice cream headache. We've had an email in from the outside world. Dear Frank, Emily,
We
and
never
Alan.
get any internal ones. do
When
we?
listening to the show on Saturday, I heard you say that you don't get new readers anymore. This is not the case. I am a new reader. I discovered your show a few weeks ago, and I'm working towards becoming a friend of the show. Or do I have to be famous for that?
Yep.
I now actually set my alarm on a Saturday morning, the only day of the week I don't have to get up, so that I can listen to the show. Wow. I've also been diligently working my way back through the podcasts and have even done a bit of research into the Divine Miss M and the Mighty Cockerel. Tried to use Ecosia, obviously. I like the Mighty Cockerel, can I just say? I prefer that to Cockadoodle-Doo and all the other changes that it
Cockaleaky.
receives, yeah. Please ignore the reader who complained about you repeating things. I can't be the only fledgling listener who needs a little extra help in filling in the details of the Skinner verse. Loving the show, that's a fact, not a compliment, and happy to say that I totally understood the siren reference. Zoe.
Well, good. I think Zoe's right. Actually, I thought
Yeah.
after we got out because we do get the odd new. We gain about 3 a week, lose about. I think we shed about 3,000. and I think that we should. Oh, it's a bit BMP, isn't it? We're not telling. We were here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to encourage. No. What I'd really like to know, when she said she sets her alarm for Saturday morning, what about this? I just had a thought then. What about what wakes you up in the morning? Because some people use the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Some people
that's
use
good.
old-fashioned alarm clock, but some people have those weird things that go off in the
What,
morning.
partners?
Wake them up. That does it. I'd like
Children,
to know.
yeah.
Anything unusual that wakes you up in the morning. Keep it clean.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text us on 81215. You're part of the family. Follow us on Twitter, actually, at Frank on the Radio. Or if you'd prefer an email, then just go to the Absolute website. It's straightforward. More
People-
chatty version.
People have in fact responded to how do they wake up. You ask how people
Oh,
wake
yeah.
up. Someone says my bladder. That is all.
Oh, so that's not totally reliable, though, is it?
No, I suppose their bladder isn't totally reliable.
Well, I know when I used to drink
Happens
a
to us
lot,
all.
I often, my bladder very much did not wake me up.
No.
Much to your chagrin.
Well,
That was one of my favourite chapters in Tony Adams' autobiography, Addicted. 090.
mine was my all-time 11, which I think it's in there. Still, after all that pain and anguish, my all-time 11.
090 at the moment, Sunlight and Birdsong.
That's
Nice.
nice. See, I never hear birdsong
Really?
in my 11th story apartment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you know.
Nice, I notice it. You see, when I'm in the country, you notice it. They don't hear it. To them, it's just like white noise. Okay.
So, this week, I imagine your Doctor Who news app gave you a little buzz.
Oh, it went Prince Charles crazy.
Prince Charles
Prince-
was
oh,
on
man.
set, as I believe they say in
He was
the
Chuck was in the house.
filming.
Charles and Camilla visited the Doctor Who set
Yeah.
in Cardiff.
It was kind of a big deal. How did you feel about it, Frank?
Well,
Mixed feelings, I would imagine.
He
A little mixed
said-
bag of emotions.
What
You have
about
worked with
he
him, haven't
said
you?
he's watched it since he was 15,
Mm-hmm.
and he's always loved it. Apparently, he used to get
That would have been...
he used to get 2 footmen to hold the sofa in front of him when he watched Doctor Who. But I had no idea he was an enthusiast, and he did the Dalek
He said exterminate.
He said exterminate, but through the actual microphone that
It was
synthesises.
rather good, I thought.
I think he'd be better as the TARDIS sound, wouldn't he? You can imagine the TARDIS starting to fade away. I think it'd be great.
He did a bit of improv as well. He said, one false move.
Oh, did?
I loved it when he did
He
improv.
did, because Danny Cohen is like the head of the BBC, said, why don't you try You Are Our Prisoners, or whatever. And he did that, and then he threw in one false move, yeah. Oh, I love it.
Do you think that's just because he's so used to saying one, because he's royal?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
Maybe it was
noticed-
one's false move, he actually said.
I noticed, and I have analysed this quite a lot, because I do love how people behave with royalty. It's a bit Jeffrey Osborne with Barack Obama. You know, we've discussed this.
Yeah.
A cabinet with Obama. But I noticed the Dalek man, he said he was a bit obsequious with him, Frank.
Well, I think, when you meet the royals, you can easily fall into that.
Charles said, I haven't got the right tone. And the Dalek man said, well, I have had a lot of practice.
Oh, good.
Well, wasn't that a bit of an old actor saying, yeah, well, I'm an old actor, I've done lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
My worry is that Prince Charles, everybody else, what's the thing? What would you say the thing on the front of the Dalek looks like? You know, the thing that everyone
like
says.
a toilet
The plunger.
A plunger, of course. But for Prince Charles, he won't know that, will he? He's probably never seen a plunger in real life, in use. And I now worry that perhaps a member of staff at the palace will walk past with a plunger and he'll go, oh, that's a bit of a Dalek, that.
But what did he say when he saw the Dalek, do you think? Did he say that has he picked up one of those little Jewish hats? That'd be awkward, wouldn't it, if he said that?
Can I tell you what is awkward?
No, Your Highness, it's like a sink. But no, I think it's one of those, those little on the back of the head. Yes.
He would have said their heads as well. The big news is,
Yeah.
and I don't know how well this is going to play in this room, Stephen Moffat, the showrunner, as I believe they're called, has said there would be a part in the show for Charles if he wanted it.
Can you believe that?
Well,
I've begged
It's
for
a dark
part
day.
in that show. And Prince Charles breezes in with his hand in his jacket pocket.
and he does one Dalek impression, he's in like Jerome Flynn.
Yeah. I think he probably thought, no, you're not right. But when he said one false move, he thought, that's it, you're in. Well, we'll come back to this because I have my views.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I haven't spoken to my manager since this Prince Charles being linked with Doctor Who story came about. I'm just worried that he might be trying to represent Prince Charles.
Do you mean represent in a rapper type
I think
way?
he might be trying to get a new client, and it's the Prince of... He's after the Prince of Wales check, isn't he?
Oh,
Prince of Wales check.
What's happening with these puns?
I had
Prince Wales
another
check.
pun headache.
I know what it is. You two...
Of course you do. You know about
No, I'm trying
fabrics,
to.
don't you?
Shall we make a vow that we never do another pun on this show ever?
Well, okay, if you want.
Okay, let's do that. See what happens.
So,
Did you see there was a picture? It had like Jenna Louise Coleman on the left,
she's a nice
and then
looking lady.
and then Camilla,
I like her.
and then Charles, and then Matt Smith, and they were all perfectly graded in height.
It was
Front-
like the
front,
ascent
yeah.
of man.
It was. I really wanted to climb them. You know, when you see a group, they'd make a lovely junior school climbing frame. Those four, if they could be talked into that. Oh man, I dreamt of climbing them.
Okay, nevertheless,
Yes.
how did you cope with the news that you are no longer in the running to be America's Next Top Model?
Well, I think that I don't see why me and Charles can't come in together as a couple of interplanetary desperados.
Like a funny double act.
Yeah, because he reminds me of my dad.
Does he?
Well, you know, my dad always kept a bit of. My dad did
Telling
this thing.
strange lies about his background.
He always kept a bit of salt in his jacket pocket.
Oh, did he?
My dad. So if ever anyone, as he said, if he was ever attacked, he'd just throw salt in their eyes.
Really?
And I reckon that's why Charles's hand is always in the jacket pocket. He's always ready. That bloke, the voice of the Daleks, if he'd have got a bit close, he'd have been blinded.
I love trying that with someone wielding lead piping at you.
I tell you, but
Do you think it works? I
he
might
used to
try
tell
that.
me how to do it. He said the thing is that you sort of you wave the other hand first, so they think, what's he waving his hands about? So you don't just so that their eyes are wide open and then in with the salt. Can I say that the official view of Absolute Radio is that all violence against a person is wrong? And I back that 100%. This is my dad, who came from a different time, when, 2 world wars. Can't blame him for having a violent outlook. Okay.
The prince's suit was under some scrutiny on one of the articles about it. They were saying that he'd had a bad repair job. Did you see that he had a?
Well, I noticed that
he had a repair job in one corner, and they said apparently the company line on it was there will be a more subtle repair in the future on the suit.
On the Anderson and Shepherd suit?
I think he might be a fan of the show and he's getting one of those Neil Gaiman pockets put in.
But
maybe he snagged it on a Cyberman or something. Easily done when you want it.
Posh people love a repair, though.
Yeah.
They make good
True
men.
dads.
It's only the nouveau riche who like the box fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed that he gets stuff repaired.
Oh, there you go.
He's shot up. Once again, he's shot up in my estimation.
I know.
He likes Doctor Who. He's prepared to blind someone if they attack him. And he won't throw away even a nasty suit like that one. He'll rescue. Good man.
131 says, surely Charles could never have a part in Doctor Who. It would cost them a fortune in royalties. And I'm afraid that is a pun. So I apologise profusely
is it?
to my family.
Maybe it isn't a pun.
My partner. I don't have a partner. To everyone who knows me.
We're your partner, Alan and I.
Oh, God. It's all going to be rock
sounds weird.
Swiss, menage a trois.
Yeah, we're going to rip your skirt off at the next awards ceremony. Didn't a dog rip your skirt off once?
Yes, I was 7 years old. I was in an adventure playground, and a dog, it wasn't pedigree, I'll always remember, and I had a wraparound skirt, Box Fizz style. Maybe they'd started the Vogue, I blame them.
Yeah.
And I was with a child actress friend of mine, another child actress, and suddenly the dog came, grabbed it in his teeth, it was gone. I stood there in my pants. He ran into the woods with it.
That'd be a much better act, wouldn't he? If they could an act where a dog runs on and tears someone's skirt off. Fabulous.
Would it be a scary dog, though?
They could have had a fox doing that.
Yeah, or a fox.
Dr. Fox.
Dr. Fox, yeah.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I had a bit of an incident this week. And-
Good.
Well, I'd like to share it with you. No, it wasn't one of those incidents.
Oh.
It wasn't a good incident. It was alcohol-based, I'm afraid.
Nice.
I went to a business meeting with my manager.
Lovely.
It was at a London members club.
Wow.
It was about 5:30 p.m.
Stringfellows, yeah?
No, I wasn't working that night. And there were 5 men present.
Okay.
No, I wasn't working that night. So we're all sitting there. The waiter came over. He was a kind of handsome young type, a lot of hair product, one of those.
Yeah.
He took our order. He went to me first, as I'm the lady. Thought it's 5:30. I'm with the guys. I'll be one of the guys. I said, I'll have a vodka tonic. Thought that was a respectable thing to order. Showed that I was carefree and fun, but not sort of, didn't have alcohol issues. My manager ordered next. I'll have peppermint tea, thanks.
That makes you look...
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. The next guy, sparkling water, please.
Uh-oh.
Guy number 3, sparkling water for me too, please.
Uh-oh.
Guy number 4, still water.
Yeah.
He's out. So,
You could have had a cheaper night if you'd just said tap, please.
You're one of those people that says, can I just have a glass of tap water?
I am one of those people, I
Of
think.
course you are.
I felt awkward.
I'm surprised you don't just say, can you do me a drawing of some water?
The waiter says, bit early for booze.
Did he?
He did.
What?
No.
He did.
Well, he should never
No
work
wonder he
in-
can't get acting jobs. That's his attitude.
Yeah.
So,
Dear.
You should remember what pays your wages, and it's not selling sparkling water, it's selling the...
I think he
booze.
was trying
That's
to make the men feel better about the fact that they'd been not very follow the bear and had just ordered water and tea.
Well, Gavin and his girlfriend on the tube. Remember the ones
Oh, yeah.
who didn't enjoy the treasure hunt?
Oh, yeah.
They said, well, we went out for cocktails after, and that was a real letdown.
Oh,
I said, oh, well, what happened? He said, well, I didn't think there'd been a carton.
cocktails in a carton?
Yeah. I said, where did you
dear.
go? He said, Yates's Wine Lodge.
Oh.
Anyway.
I don't like cocktails after a treasure hunt. It doesn't go together.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
like
sundowners. Close treasure hunt sundowners. What could be a better Saturday out?
A yard of ale after pass the parcel. It doesn't work.
Quite a weird complaining couple, though, because the things they're moaning about are quite sort of cheery sounding, aren't they? Treasure hunts and cocktails. I once had to complain in a hotel in New Zealand about my afternoon tea not being very good, and just because I kept complaining in an angry voice but using the words afternoon tea, it just didn't really convey any anger properly.
Well, it's the Englishman abroad, that is, isn't it?
It's too cheery sounding. So did anybody have booze at all? Was it all...
No, I snarled it out, but I
no.
felt great shame throughout the entire hour-long period that I was there.
You know what you should have done is immediately that it got to the last person, they said still water, you should have gone, actually I'll have 2 vodka tonics because
Can you make that a double? Yeah.
we need to really make this...
Let's get this party started.
Yeah, I'm drinking for them.
Well, I decided, though, but there is a lot of pressure. I don't like being the social architect in that sense. So you lay down the gauntlet. If you're the first orderer, there's a lot of pressure involved in being the first orderer. Will you have a starter?
Well, I become the translator. I don't know how this works, but if I'm out with people, it often happens when we go out for brunch after the show, the waiter will come over and say, so anyone like any drinks? And no one seems to hear the waiter except me. And I end up going, so does anyone want drinks? I mean, that's not I'm not in catering. The thing that really annoys me is feel free to take the rise out of me for this. But
we will.
When
Here
I
we
have
go.
coffee, I always have decaffeinated.
Yeah.
Me
It gives
too.
gives me the jitters, coffee.
What's the point?
I know. So I always have decaffeinated cappuccino, and I can't tell you how many times they bring the decaffeinated cappuccino, and they put it down and say, okay, Bubba, cappuccino. So suddenly there's doubt in my mind straight away.
yeah.
And I say, is it decaffeinated? And they go, yeah. That's not good. I want more. Then I think it isn't.
Yeah.
And then I think I just get jittery by osmosis.
I've done that for people when they ask for, like, gin and slim, and then you get back and you've forgotten at the bar, and someone says, oh, this is slimline tonic, innit? And you go, yeah. You know, exactly that moment of just going, I'm not going up and...
No.
Just, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't
Diet
like specials. I won't tolerate specials. It takes so long. It's like listening to Ulysses being read out. We have the beef tenderized 14 days.
Yes.
I don't want to know.
And also, you can't trust the specials like the old-time coppers when you can't find your way home.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about food earlier. Well, we were specifically talking about what irritates us slightly in restaurants.
Ordering angst.
Yeah.
When you go in on booze and then it doesn't get adhered to.
I never trust them to remember it all either. I
Why
like
do
them
they
to have
do
a
that?
pad and paper.
yeah.
Why don't they write it down? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a contest.
But
And
it
I
is
don't-
for some staff, isn't it? I think there's some establishments that say to the staff, unless it's a table of 6 or more, you can't use a pen and paper, which seems pointless to me. I don't know why.
Oh, you made quite a strong point.
Thanks very much.
Also, if I order first, like you were saying, what I don't like is to have the same thing that someone else is having.
Exactly.
I've had this round with my wife
So
many
I
times.
order, and then they order the same, and often I'll change mine. Mm-hmm. I don't... It's like, the Salvation Army I think the officers have to marry other people that are in the Salvation Army.
Do they?
It's like that. It's my fight against that. Mm-hmm. I like to say, how's that?
Yeah.
Oh, how's the whitebait? And if we've all got the same thing...
It is weird that I have whitebait for breakfast, isn't it? But,
Well, no, I'm fine with it. I wasn't going to mention
I know
it.
exactly what you mean, though, because if you're a couple and you order the exact same thing, then you've both got
What
the
are you
risk
going to
of...
talk about?
You've got the risk of having a bad meal, both of you. Whereas one person, if you order a different one of you can win.
But when you're in a couple and you're constantly desperate for stuff to talk about...
Yeah.
That's where you go out for a meal.
I can say with confidence, you are not in one of those relationships.
No, I have been. And then you order different things, so you can just say, well, mine's like this, what's yours like?
Uh-huh.
Have you really been out with people and struggled for conversation?
For a night. But,
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, actually, Shaquille O'Neal, but, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How did that go, the conversation? Did he dunk?
Pardon?
It's a basketball, so...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, how about this? I was having brunch with you guys. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh.
But I was saying, it struck me at the time that what I would love to do is to get a small, like a little tiny Calagas stove, which I had under the table, and hold it under there so they can't see, and when the man comes to collect the plates at the end, the waiter, to say to him, "Okay, careful with that; it's really hot." And I said this in the thing, so I've heated the plate up, and because I do get annoyed when they say, "Don't touch that; it's really hot."
Yeah.
Why have you brought it to me then?
Some old tea towel on
Health
the rim.
and safety that are supposed to be dominating British society. We brought you a really, really hot plate. We're going to put it right next to you, and you've got to try and eat off it. That's the. So I give him the hot plate and say, "Be careful." So I said that, and the cockerel said to me, "Write that down."
Did I?
Did he?
Yeah.
Did I really?
Write that down, he said.
Did he say, if you, like me, have trouble remembering things, write that down?
No, but right. So I thought, oh, okay, I will. So when I did some stand-up recently, I thought, I'll try that. So I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I thought it'll go with it because it's got a sort of a broad, like a sort of Michael McIntyre, John Bishop sort of appeal.
Wide appeal.
Yeah. I did nothing. And I then realised, of course, it was a trap. The cockerel knew
My
very
work
well.
here is done.
Cockerel knew it was rubbish.
What cockerel?
And he's very much let me down on that one. So I'm not falling for that one again.
We've had a message from Joe in Sutton on the subject of restaurant etiquette,
Yeah.
if I may use that phrase.
You may.
Frank and the gang, talking of restaurants, I remember the first time I went into a reasonably decent restaurant, there was a finger bowl, and after peeling my prawns, I washed them in it. You know, the ones that you dip your little hands in, so that you don't get prawny smell.
It's difficult. I went into
I love that.
a place called Christopher's in Covent Garden, which at the time, I'd just come up from
Oh,
Birmingham.
yes, very 80s/90s.
Well, this was the 80s/90s, and I'd come down from Birmingham, and it seemed like beyond sophistication. And they asked me what I wanted, and I said, "I'll have steak tartare, well done."
Oh.
I didn't know it was raw.
Do you know, that breaks my heart.
It was raw, yeah. And the waiter slightly sniggered.
I do
Had you parked your car in Collindale as well?
Of course.
I do a version of what Joe did now on purpose at the end of a meal. You know when you don't eat Indian food out much, do you? You know when they bring the hot towels around at the end?
Indian food.
I love
Right.
It's like eating. It's like getting a spoon and eating a jar of Branstons.
it. Nice. Anyway, just
don't
suspend
get me
your
wrong.
disbelief
I
momentarily.
like poppadoms and their accompanying
You love
pickles.
the crisps, don't you? But not the
What do you do
food.
then if a friend said, hold that thought, cockerel, bookmark
Yeah,
it.
okay, I'll-
But if a friend says,
I'll park that
let's
for a while.
let's go for a curry, would you just say, I'm afraid I can't?
How sad did they sell Chicken Maryland? This is what curry houses in Birmingham used to sell for people who didn't like Indian food.
Did
I
they?
just, I suppose I can, consume it, but I don't really like to go out as a challenge like that.
I think you could get over it by just picking dishes that will be
Yeah, but-
satisfying.
Also, I
Very
told
Why
you,
should he have to get over it in some senses?
yeah. What am I supposed
Yes.
to like it just because
It's
it's
like-
politically correct?
It's like, it's like horses. They've got to earn your respect.
Yeah.
We've been down that road. Why? I don't want their respect.
Anyway, I was in a...
I like Indians. I just don't like Indian food. Can I make that clear?
For the avoidance of doubt.
I didn't like them so much when they beat us in the cricket. But yeah, no, it's not. I find it. No,
The hot towel that they bring around at the end.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go poppadoms, hot towel, good night.
Well,
Well, maybe the mint. You know the mints you get sometimes, the chocolate mints.
Yeah.
I do two things with the hot towel. First of all, when it arrives, I
Do I wanna hear
always
this?
pretend that
Is it going to be like the wife's flannel?
I always pretend that it's more food and that I think it's more food, and I look at the towel and go, I couldn't eat another thing, thank you.
Excellent.
And then
How many times has Mrs. Cockerell had that?
all the time. And then it's meant really for washing your fingers, isn't it? Because you've been eating with your hands with the poppadoms and whatnot. I always give my face a wash and then unbutton my
You
shirt
don't.
and do my armpits in the restaurant.
You don't do the
You
armpit.
I do the armpits.
You
Turns
are-
out you're a bit of a physical comedian. You're clowning.
I like to have a little clown about, yeah.
You
That's it.
don't.
Bit of fun. I do, yeah.
When I get a hot towel, I must say,
And then you take the towel home. So give that a wash, love. Be all right.
I do wash my hands with it, but I always, if it's on a plane or in a restaurant, I don't care. I always take the sleep out the corners of my eyes with it.
What, with the towel?
Yeah.
I don't really use the towel.
You know that slightly crackly stuff in the corners of the eyes? I always take that out.
Oh, this is a nice topic. I never
Don't
use
want to
that
talk about
towel.
eye bogies on the
never
on
use
the
it?
radio.
I just think it worries me. It's a bit like if I start thinking about hotel sheets too much and where they've been before. OPT, other people's towels, I'm not down with them.
PT.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
Sorry.
My mum asks if food is real when she's ordering. That's a bit embarrassing. Like when
Is
we're
she an
in,
existentialist?
maybe that's what it is. But like we'll be in a place and she'll
Jean-Paul
go,
Cockerell.
see the chips. Are they real chips? Are they real chips
What does she
here?
mean by that?
think
Is she
she sort of
prone to
means-
illusion?
I think she sort of means, are they like? Is somebody chopping up a potato to make the chips, or are they bought in a big bag and just put in an oven?
Oh, I see.
And she's actually said several times when I'm out with her, and she'll say, if I order the soup, is it real soup or is it that plasticky soup? Meaning, like, are you just pouring it out of a tin or something? Is it real soup or plasticky soup?
I
I
like
think we
it.
know where the cockerel gets it all from.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We haven't talked about a certain star appearance at a school sports day this week, which you may or may not have seen. DB, David Beckham, at cruise. Funny old one, that cruise. I never had to say it, but it was his
Cruz.
sports day. Is it Cruz?
No.
He took part in the dad's race.
How brilliant that is.
I love
Yeah,
it.
unless you're one of the dads on that starting line, because, I mean, let's face it, typically the dads are going to be like 18 stone, not doing any exercise, probably high mileage drivers and doing a lot of
I
work.
don't know if dads are like that now. High mileage drivers. Can I say, typically high mileage drivers is the most cockerel thing possible to say.
You know, these guys aren't that fit. They probably eat a lot of room service in hotels. I'm
They're
painting
gonna
a
be-
picture of me, really, aren't I?
They're going to be rich businessmen, aren't they?
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
not.
that school.
Yeah, they're not going to be.
I don't know what
someone
school
with
it is.
I do,
Zero
but we
body
obviously
fat
can't say.
and
I
looking
do. And they're rich
hunky.
businessmen.
And he's there.
Anyway, he won.
He won.
Yeah.
He won the dad. David Beckham won the dad's race.
Can't help but think
Let's
he-
call this thing Beck's Whiz.
Yeah, Beck's Whiz. I think he tried to lose it, but he's so much fitter than all of them.
Beck's Whiz.
Beck's Whiz, yeah, he's fast at running and it's like Buck's Fizz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's all I needed was a footnote.
Do you,
I knew
like
Emily
me,
wasn't getting
think
I
they should
don't
have
get
called
it. I
Beck's
do
Whiz?
now.
No, but
I like that you couldn't just say, I don't think you've got it. You just kept repeating it.
Yeah.
I was prepared. I thought you hadn't heard.
No, I had heard.
I thought we were going to start next week's show with him still saying it. That's what I thought. I was
But
worried.
here's the question: if you went to a school event and they
Yeah.
said we're going to have a little stand-up comedy competition for the dads, would you go in for it? Go in
try
for
my
it,
best not
completely
to.
blow them away. Which is what you basically did, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think he was trying to lose. I bet
way.
he did cartwheels or ran backwards or something, and just all of them were so profoundly unathletic compared to Beckham, who could still finish
Well,
the
he
elite test.
was an international athlete about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
so-
Posh raced, but Stella McCartney beat her.
yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Excellent. That
What
is
kind
good.
of a school is this? It is Stella
I tell
Street,
you,
Stella Street High.
My kind of school.
What I like though is that they showed her a picture of Posh running, and she got a leather jacket on, white shirt, and jeans. She was running in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of Beck's Fonz. Okay, but
What? It's like remotely. It doesn't make sense at all. That.
The Fonz, you know the Fonz.
No, I know, but he's trying to do another Bucks
Am I
Fizz.
explaining all the jokes in this link? Is that what's happening?
thank God you're here.
I know what the joke is. I'm just questioning its validity.
Anyway,
okay.
I have to say, I mean, I know what you mean, that you do sort of think, these people who turn up and they think this is my one moment of glory, I get to run in the dad's race. And then Beckham had quite a bit of glory.
Yeah.
Turns out. But isn't there something brilliant about it?
Yeah.
I love that Victoria went in the mom's race, because it's so un-Victoria.
Yeah.
And that's because their kids was there, and their kids says, "Oh, go on, Mum, run."
Yeah.
She couldn't say no.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I'm not going to be on Twitter saying went to my school sports day and the classiness was taken down by the Beckhams. No way. I thought it was brilliant that they...
Me too.
Also, for the dads, you get beat, but you say, I was once in a race, actually, with David Beckham.
Yeah.
Ah!
If you're going to
Great.
get beaten... Although, see, I didn't like Sports Day because my parents were actors. They're not very good at Sports Day.
Mm-hmm.
They had a wine glass and a cigarette doing an egg and spoon race.
Well,
my mum won the egg and spoon race, but only after 10 minutes.
She wanted to take the eggs home.
Only after 10 minutes of her going, "Are these eggs real? Are they real eggs?"
well,
Did your parents do the
my parents never went to the school. But I don't remember parents being at our school sports day.
Oh.
This was at the time when parents went to work in the
Children
daytime.
were seen and not heard. Yeah.
Well, no, there was never any parents at the school sports day. It happened in the week, and we just did it, and then we went home. I don't know where this thing has come from. I certainly don't remember any major fashion designers winning anything.
I find that surprising.
But I thought it was brilliant. Posh Spice runs in the mom's race. Don't get any better. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.